Here we go again. Environmental activists and members of the Minneapolis City Council are advocating for a shutdown of the Herc trash incinerator right behind Target Field. And if it sounds familiar, this has been a recurring issue to shut it down by some groups since it was built in the 1980s. The concern is real: air pollution. And while defenders of the Herc say we need that organization there to create the electricity from trash, there are other sides like the environment, and Joe McCoy wants to get you up to speed on what's happening right now. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Jana. The proposed resolution today by the Minneapolis City Council, it calls for a closure date of the Herc sooner rather than later. Now, most people agree on the eventual closure of the Herc, but what they disagree on is when that should be. Ever since 1989, when the Hennepin Energy Recovery Center, known as Herc, first opened, people have protested against it. In 2024, that fight is continuing.
We all deserve to breathe clean air. We all deserve to drink clean water.
At a Minneapolis City Council meeting Thursday, concerned residents sounded off on the North Loop trash incinerator that burns roughly 365,000 tons of garbage a year.
The Herc is terrible for public health. It's also bad for the climate.
In October 2023, the Hennepin County Board signed off on a plan to close the Herc between 2028 and 2040, depending on how quickly the county can transition into a zero-waste system. Those opposed want it closed by the end of 2025.
The solution to resolving these risks is to close Herc as soon as possible and strongly commit to reducing, reusing, and recycling waste.
The air emissions from Herc are significantly below their permitted levels.
At today's meeting, Jenny Lansing with the City of Minneapolis Health Department provided analysis on the air pollution impacts of Herc. She says the health department supports working towards a zero-waste future and the ultimate closure of Herc, but closing it now is not the solution.
Overall, emissions in Hennepin County are dominated by on-road and non-road mobile and non-point sources, and these sources drive the cancer and non-cancer risks to health in Minneapolis.
This pie chart shows that Herc contributes to 0.24% of all Hennepin County emissions. And according to the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, the risk of someone developing cancer from the Herc is 1 in 100,000. For context, 4 in 10 people in Minnesota will have cancer in their lifetime, showing the risk for cancer is minimal, according to these stats.
The premature closure of Herc will result in increased truck transportation of trash throughout the county and outside of Hennepin County to landfills, resulting in more than 10,000 additional trips by semi-trailer trucks.
Lansing says this increase in semi-trailer traffic to landfills would be a much greater contributor to cancer and air pollution in Minneapolis than the Herc is. Those concerned feel we must solve both.
Landfills are bad too, we know that. But we can't get locked into a false binary between landfills and incinerators. They're two problems with unique solutions.
Hennepin County defines zero waste as preventing 90% or more of all discarded materials from being sent to a landfill or incinerated. A final vote on this resolution is expected on October 31st. Jana.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of debate up until then, and especially on that date, Joe. So
Absolutely.
We'll check back in with you then.